I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. At Wednesday's House Judiciary Committee hearing, North Carolina Congressman Dan Bishop spoke to a GOP witness about what he described as a ginned-up smear attack on Justice Thomas and his wife. The hearing was dedicated to Supreme Court ethics and recusal reforms, which Republican members saw as an unfair attack on Justice Clarence Thomas. Bishop told the witness in question, lawyer Mark Paletta, that the attacks on Thomas were merely a continuation of the scrutiny he received at his confirmation hearing more than 3 decades ago. Bishop called out the president as well, hearkening back to Biden's treatment of Thomas during his confirmation hearings. Let's listen in.
The bishop is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wasn't sure my mic light's not coming on, so I think it's on, though. You can hear me, right? Mr. Paletta, I wasn't here for your oral testimony. I read your testimony, and I thought at the end you had something here that it was worth noting and then commenting on. You said, but the trigger for this new proposed legislation is a ginned-up smear attack on Justice Thomas and his wife. And Mr. Cohen of Tennessee suggested that the legislation's been out there longer. I'd suggest swapping the word hearing for legislation. I think the salient issue is the timing of this hearing. But I do think that what you said is apt. This is a ginned-up smear attack on Justice Thomas. And it brought to my mind the fact that I don't think things have changed so much in the 31 years that have passed since this event. In the photo behind me, there you go. The progenitor of the process of borking Supreme Court nominees, the Honorable Edward Kennedy. You got Senator Strom Thurmond, close friend and collaborator with the big guy in the middle. And on that occasion, the core language that Justice Thomas used, if you'll recall, at the end of his statement was, from my standpoint as a black American, as far as I'm concerned, it is a high-tech lynching for uppity blacks who in any way deign to think for themselves, to do for themselves, to have different ideas. And it is a message that unless you kowtow to an old order, this is what will happen to you. You will be lynched, destroyed, caricatured by a committee of the U.S. Senate rather than hung from a tree. How little things have changed. Wouldn't you say that this hearing and its focus on Justice Thomas, the demeaning way in which Justice Thomas is distinguished from other jurists that have been pointed out in your paper and the comments that have been made about them, the notion that Justice Thomas is dependent on his wife, has much changed at all since that hearing, since the comments from Justice Thomas 31 years ago?
No, and I'm actually kind of shocked by Congressman Cohen's questions. I'm not sure what he was driving at, that Justice Thomas didn't ask a lot of questions. I do think he asked more earlier in his career, but if you go back over the years with various justices, they didn't ask a lot of questions, but I'm a little concerned by what Congressman Cohen was trying to imply there.
So the salient issue, again, seems not to be the timing of the legislation, it's the timing of the hearing. It's just like the well-timed warning outside the Supreme Court building, you won't know what hit you, right? That's what we're dealing with. That's what we're still dealing with today. And I think it's just worth noting how much this country has depended on the fortitude of Justice Thomas to withstand this kind of unseemly treatment for all those 31 years, and what a debt of gratitude the country owes to him. And with that, I'll yield back.
Gentleman from New York, Mr. Jones is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding